Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. Happy Friday. I'm not going to spin the wheel today just because I just got back from New York and I just don't have time. But I'll do it next week. I'll spin it twice for y'all. It's going to be a crazy day because we're talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And I've known this story for a while, and a lot of people have been asking me to cover this story. And, you know, I was going to get to it eventually. But then she dropped a video on her being pregnant. And people are saying that she's going to become a child exploiter, which is absolutely bananas if you know anything about Gypsy Rose. Okay, so let's talk about it. So if you don't know who Gypsy Rose is, I'm going to do an entire podcast about it. I'm actually launching a real crime podcast. I know I call it real crime. An audio podcast because I'm very passionate about audio podcasting. And I think there's just a different way of doing it when you're me. And I like doing it. And I also like doing real crime on this channel. But the way I like doing it, it's different from, like, say, someone like Annie from 10 to Life, who's amazing, and you should go subscribe to her. She's my favorite real crime podcast, or true crime podcaster of all time. She's incredible. She's a close friend. You should go subscribe to her. But the thing I do different here is I like to open up the conversation to everybody when we talk about cases. And I think I really want to start bringing that in more and more and more. It's very, very interesting. I've been into true crime for a very, very, very long time. I started with Sword and Scale like 5 years ago, and I haven't listened to it in a long time, but that's where it kind of sparked, and I just really, really enjoy doing it. So anyway, all that to say, I first heard this case on Sword and Scale, and it was mind-blowing when I heard it then. So basically, I got some points that I'm going to get into, but basically the gist of it is, Gypsy Rose is a girl who had a mom who had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and she just destroyed this girl's life, and eventually she just went to prison. So what'd you go to prison for? Let's find out. I got some bullet points here. Let's go through it really quickly before we get to her video. Gypsy Rose is born in July 27, 1991 to Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard and Rod Blanchard. Dee Dee suffered from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a mental disorder where a caregiver fabricates or induces illness in someone under their care for attention and sympathy. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Now, I know we throw that term around a lot around here, but I think if it exists anywhere, it's going to exist inside these communities where these people get paid when their kids get hurt or get sick or anything like that. And I'm not saying all of them have it, but there's if there's levels to it, and I don't know if there is, but if there's levels to it, then it definitely exists inside of the child exploitation family vlogger community. 100%. Because these people will get paid when their kids get hurt. And that's insanity that YouTube, that anybody allows that, especially since cases like this exist. Okay? YouTube should absolutely, any social media platform should absolutely take down anything that has to do with kids getting hurt or getting sick or any of that stuff. Should never be able to put that on the internet, ever. That's a no-brainer, man. So the fabricated illnesses were from a young age. Gypsy was subjected to unnecessary medical treatments and surgeries, which is insane if you listen to this whole story. Dee Dee claimed Gypsy had various ailments, including leukemia, muscular dystrophy, and developmental issues, and Gypsy was forced to use a wheelchair and a feeding tube despite being healthy. And that's a mom who was forcing this on the kid because the mom got attention from it. That sounds like anybody? I don't know, family vloggers? Anybody? Now, I know it's generally, when it comes to Munchausen syndrome by proxy, it's about medical treatments and saying your kid has illnesses when they don't. But we're saying that I honestly think that the DSM-6, whenever it comes out, should change this to people who use their children for views and clout. Honestly, for anything. Dentist's office, their stories, their adoption stories, sharing their personal details on the internet. You should change this, and they should be literally put into rubber room. Public image. Dee Dee and Gypsy received public sympathy and financial support, including free trips and housing from charities like Habitat for Humanity. Gypsy was portrayed as a severely ill child, and Dee Dee was seen as a devoted mother. Does it sound like anybody? Now, is it starting to pick it up with Munchausen syndrome by proxies? Does it seem like, I don't know, Ruby Frankie seem like a devoted mother on her channel? Yeah? You starting to see it? Does it seem like Doherty Dozen Alicia is a devoted mother? Does it seem like it? Do you think she is? Do you think any of these mothers on these channels are devoted to their children? Here's the truth. They're not. They're devoted to themselves. Their children are a means to an end. Gypsy's realization. As Gypsy grew older, she began to realize that she was not actually sick. Despite her growing awareness, she felt trapped and unable to escape her mother's control. Gypsy met Nicholas Gojon online in 2012, who had a history of mental illness and criminal behavior. Sounds like a great place to meet somebody. The two developed a romantic relationship and began planning to escape Dee Dee's control. In June 2015, Nicholas traveled to Gypsy's home in Springfield, Missouri. Gypsy and Nicholas carried out a murder of Dee Dee, with Nicholas stabbing her to death while Gypsy waited in the bathroom. So she's absolutely complicit. That's why she went to jail. The pair then fled to Nicholas's home in Wisconsin. After Dee Dee's body was discovered, Gypsy and Nicholas were quickly tracked down and arrested. Imagine them on the run. Just say it. The truth about Gypsy's health and the extent of Dee Dee's abuse came to light during the investigation. Gypsy pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in 2016 and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Nicholas was convicted of first-degree murder and received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. A lot of people are divided on this. A lot of people will say that Gypsy doesn't deserve to be in jail at all. Like, she had no choice but to plan this, and like, it was justified. Like, an abuse victim is justified in killing their abuser often, and I will agree with that for sure. But other people will say, no, she should have served a lot more time because they planned this murder. She should have been charged with first degree because it was pre-planned. Like, it wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment thing, and they planned it. I mean, you could have just left. You could have called the police. There's a lot of things you could have done except murder, so it is very divided. This is why she's very popular today. It's crazy. She comes out of jail, and she's like this famous influencer. She murdered her mother, and I understand that her mother's a piece of shit, but she still murdered somebody. Where do I land on the thing? I know you other people are asking. I'd say no to murder, probably. No. And you guys know how passionate I am against people who exploit children online for the internet, but no one ever deserves to be murdered. Here's the people who deserve to have a millstone rung around their neck and dumped into the ocean. People who hurt and abuse children. Okay? For sure. You know, child R's is what I'm saying. You know, pedos. Those people deserve to not be here. And that's the extent of it for me. If you're just like showing your kid and exploiting them, no, you know, there's no, like, that's crazy to me, okay? Did this mother deserve to be murdered? No. That's my official opinion on it. The case received widespread media attention, including documentaries, dramatizations like HBO's Mommy, Dead and Dearest and Hulu's The Act. Gypsy has expressed remorse for her mother's murder, but also relief from an abusive situation. She is eligible for parole and has been paroled as of very recently. Here, and some of the things that Dee Dee claimed Gypsy had was sleep apnea, leukemia, muscular dystrophy, and epilepsy. She was, again, subjected to so many, treatments, surgeries, medications, probably made her sick more. And the fact that doctors were fooled is actually kind of crazy about the system if you think about it. Also, here, in my notes here, I have Gypsy let Nicholas into the house and gave him the knife and gloves, so she gave him the murder weapon. Nicholas proceeded to stab Dee to death. And I noticed that Nicholas isn't famous for this. I mean, if she's out and people are like celebrating her, I mean, shouldn't you also celebrate him? Because he's the one who actually, if you believe that what she did was justified, then what he did was justified, right? The fact that people actually will idolize a murderer is crazy to me. And that was going to be my take on this whole entire story anyway. This girl, although had a very, very, very terrible upbringing and didn't deserve what she did, again, is still a murderer. Okay, there's... People who go on these pages, it just goes to show that there are people out there who don't care what anybody does and will be fans of anybody. If you ever go into terrible Kira or Doherty Does and all these people who are absolutely, we can see that they're terrible. Most of the time they get mostly negative comments because they're terrible people, but you've always got the white knighters. It doesn't matter what type of people they are, you've got white knighters, and that's insane to me. So she was released in December 28, 2022 after serving 8 years of her 10-year sentence for second-degree murder. Here are significant developments since her release. Immediate post-release family celebration. Gypsy celebrated New Year's Eve with her family, including her father, stepmother, and husband, Ryan Anderson. Again, she was been married and divorced or something like that. I don't know all the details right now, and all I know is it's just crazy. It's just crazy what's happening, okay? And she's already it's very public. Her whole life has been very public up to this point, and she's capitalizing on it because what else is she going to do, right? At this point, it's okay, I kind of understand that you really have nothing else. What are you going to do? You're going to get a job, normal job, secretary, you're going to go to school? I don't know. Probably could have went to school. But she just capitalized on being a murderer and has developed a large fan base of being a murderer. It's crazy to me. So anyway, all that to say, she obviously wasn't going to land on my channel for any of that. Not really. But she's definitely landed on my channel now for this video. I'm pregnant in my journey so far. I have not seen this video. But from what it looks like, a lot of people have messaged me saying, do you think that she's going to be a child exploiter? Does she explain it in this video? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. And that's what we're going to do together now. So this is Gypsy Rose Blanchard's YouTube video. I'm pregnant, my journey so far. And really? Really? Damn. The internet's like send the asteroid. Gypsy Rose stories like send the asteroid. Okay, let's do it. Because it's all bad. Every direction of it. No matter what comes out of this, it's all bad. The way she was abused, then she murdered somebody. There's not a redeeming quality in this story whatsoever. And people are like, yeah, you go, girl. Yes, slay. If you tell her to slay queen, maybe be careful with your words. Okay? Like, don't say that. Anyway.
Hi, everybody. So I know that...
It's not sped up, right? That's her voice. Okay, let's get into it. I've never heard her voice before.
The rumors have been flying around for quite some time now, and I'm happy to announce that I am 11 weeks pregnant.
You're not even in your, like, relax, man.
Ken and I are expecting our very first child.
Ken.
Come January of 2025. We're both very excited. This was not planned.
Obviously, we got that probably. Yeah.
At all. It was completely unexpected. But we're both very excited to take on this new journey of...
Wow. I gotta look here real quick at the rest of her channel. I don't know enough about her online persona. I do know that she has 43,000 subscribers and has been around since... Oh, she's gained that much in this year alone. It's pretty good, actually. Get ready for me for a photo shoot, which was July 4th. So she's posted on June 27th. Q&A, which we'll probably have to snark on now that she's going to be a child exploiter, probably. I haven't even looked on TikTok. Guaranteed she's got like 1 million subscribers on TikTok because, you know, TikTok. 9.9 million followers for a murderer. What are the comments like? Is this her? Oh my god. Kids when we fell. Oh my gosh. Oh, the comments are off, obviously. I mean, obviously.
I am 11 weeks pregnant.
So she doesn't turn her comments on anything. Okay.
The family matter and the truth.
So basically, she just gets hate watches. Is that what it is? So yeah, 16,000 downvotes for 7.9 thousand upvotes. I said, please don't exploit this child. Gypsy, please bring your child off social media. Don't exploit your child. Break the cycle. Who else came for the comments? So she just all hate watches. People. So it's there. I'm sure there are fans, but again, just like Kira and everybody else, and Docky doesn't. It's all hate watches. They literally make bank off hate, of being rage baiters.
Parenthood. I have already experienced
murder.
Experienced the symptoms.
After 11 weeks? Well, I hope so. Okay. You're wearing a cross on your neck and you murdered somebody. I'm just saying. Just don't.
When I first learned that I was pregnant, the first thing that I noticed was the cravings. So I craved orange juice. Orange juice.
I was murder. I thought it was gonna be murder. My bad.
Orange juice was not something that I craved on a daily basis before. Mm-hmm. So when I started craving...
The fact that she killed her mother... She's making I craved orange juice. It's mind-blowing to me that somebody like this is rewarded with fame. Am I missing something? I know some people, there might be some fans of hers in my comments. Let me know what I'm missing, because maybe I am. I don't know. Her voice is not relaxing or anything.
I'm like, okay, well, guess I just want orange juice. I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, totally.
So... that was one thing, and then the next thing that I noticed was the hunger, an insatiable hunger to just
for
eat.
Murder. Oh, eating. Damn it! I keep getting that. I just keep getting things. I'm sorry.
Everything. So I really went on a binge and just started eating everything, and then of course I missed my period, and I didn't think anything of it because I had seen
me either.
My OBGYN, and I had tested my fertility, and she's like, we're probably gonna have to put you on fertility meds, or at least something to make you ovulate.
That's what it's clearly maybe a scam. We're gonna have to get you on some meds. And then she goes and gets pregnant.
Because you're not ovulating on a regular. So I'm like, okay, so I had that appointment was a month out. And so when I missed my period, I thought I was just
Should murder. Oh,
having issues with ovulation.
right.
And it wasn't until I had texted with Ken, and he's like, have you taken a pregnancy?
This guy's name is Ken? Who is this guy? Ken, why? Ken? What is, Okay. That's crazy. So she... Okay. Who marries a murderer? Sorry. At some point, you're just like, okay, you're a murderer? I mean, of all the red flags that exist in the world, murderer is probably like, I mean, right at the top. I mean, girls, you are the red flag expertise people. You've corrected me about the bear thing. I totally understand. You understand red flags. You're probably out to look for red flags everywhere. Guys are kind of, I'm more like aloof to things. And, I didn't know this. But like murder, right? Would be like, hey, if you're on a first date with somebody and you're asking questions and they're like, you know what? I went to jail for second degree murder. It's a thing. You're going to be like, oh, okay. Right? And then in your head, you're like, red flag. I'm right? I'm not wrong about that is what I'm saying.
Test. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm pregnant.
Right.
Totally. And then I had taken a test and it turned out positive. And so everything just made sense. But my pregnancy journey so far. So
imagine everybody knows your mother's a murderer. That's going to be fun. That's why this woman, and I know we haven't got to yet, I hope she doesn't. I hope nobody knows who this child is. They don't know their name. Nothing. Don't even give them your last name, Blanchard or whatever it is. Okay? Don't let anybody know that you shouldn't even have told people you're pregnant. That is insane that you're going to bring a child into this world when you are... Is there a bug in here? When you are literally a murderer. I'm sorry, you're a convicted murderer. And that kid is like... I get mad at like when moms are on OnlyFans because of the things that are going to be negatively affecting that child, especially when they get to school. But if you're a murderer? I mean, that's a little worse. Like OnlyFans, big red flag. Murderer, giant red flag. Right? This woman has no business telling the world that she's about to have a kid. Have a kid. I mean, it's your body, your choice. Okay? But you also have a choice to protect this child, and you clearly are not doing that.
I had experienced crazy mood swings.
I would be scared, is what I'm saying. You're the guy that married her, or I don't even know if he's married, probably not even married to her now. If she's like, I'm experiencing very crazy mood swings and she's a murderer, I mean, I'm gonna be like, do you need Baskin Robbins? Just let me know what you need so we don't get down that. I'm just saying, I wouldn't walk downstairs with her. There'd be no knives in my house. Like, sorry, who the hell marries a murderer?
Like, poor Ken.
Poor Ken. Yeah, seriously, poor Ken.
If he breathes wrong, I am just like, ah!
It all... I'm sorry. She's admitting, like, if he breathes wrong, I'm like, ah! And she does, like, ah! You're like, oh my God! Because she murdered somebody. You know, she had someone murdered. So that's why I'd be, like, a little bit on edge.
Pregnancy is not easy with the mood swings.
Yeah, or the murder thing. That thing too.
And he's been very gracious about it. He's been very forgiving about it. But good Lord.
He better be. You know what I'm saying? His life's on the line.
We were driving in the car the other day, and this is before I got my hair done, so I did still have brown hair at this time.
Oh, well, it's still brown. It's still brown there, Gypsy. I don't know if you noticed. I'm pointing it out. That is brown.
But I was listening to music and a song came on the radio and I just started crying. And I'm like, what?
Is it this song? I Might Kill My Ex by SZA? Because if it is, you should probably not listen to that one. Okay.
Why am I crying right now? Like, oh my God, this song has never made me so emotional. And it was Let It Go or Let Her Go or something by Passenger. Good Lord. I was just in tears. I'm like, I cannot listen to this stuff.
Mm-hmm. You do what she says. Okay? Or it's the lotion in the basket or whatever.
I can't do it. A lot of the other symptoms that I've been having is Mild symptoms, everything that goes with pregnancy. Now, morning sickness, I've been actually very blessed to not.
I'm actually now becoming scared to do this video. Not gonna lie. Like it hits different when the person has actually gone to jail for murder. You know, I'm not really scared of Doherty doesn't or like Jeff's family. Like, what are you gonna do? Beat me up? Okay. Like, but this one has actually been in jail for murder, so yeah, I don't like that. It's a little weird.
Have major morning sickness. That's been amazing. So far, pregnancy has been a breeze as far as symptoms.
But the murder things? What about that part?
I find like the tiredness is starting to wear off a little bit. That was like the biggest symptom that I had saw with me is that I'm always tired and
Does she have a series of what it's like to be in prison? I might watch that.
sleepy. So that's been.
How long do you think it's going to be before someone in prison is allowed to do vlogging inside of prison? How long do you think it's going to be? Soon. Especially in a private jail.
One thing that I've been dealing with. The rest is completely manageable. Like I said, Ken has been very forgiving to my symptoms.
He kind of has to be, you know. A lot of us men, when we have pregnant wives, we walk on eggshells trying to be everything, but I would walk, it's like walking on knives, you know.
But the rest has been a breeze. And the baby looks healthy, happy. I know it's still gonna be a long journey ahead, but I'm up for it. I know that there are gonna be people that feel like I'm not ready to be a mother.
You put me on that list. I'm on that list. Check. Dad Challenge Podcast. You should not be a mother. Sorry. You are not. You've been in jail for a lot of your life, 8 years of your life after murder. So, I don't think you ever should have kids, to be honest with you. I mean, I just think that's selfish. It's selfish.
And I don't know if anyone's really ready to become a mother.
Especially if you're a murderer.
I don't know anybody that said, okay, I'm ready, I'm doing this. You know, I think in my experience, everybody that I've ever talked to, they're like, it just happened. And so I feel a shift
in content.
Myself.
Well, I hope so. It's a shift in your guts, right? Because the thing's growing and it's shifting things around.
When I found out that I was pregnant,
I could have killed somebody. I mean,
none of anything else mattered.
Right.
The drama on social media.
That matters. So are you bringing your child into a world where you're one of the most hated people on earth? Probably don't do that. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Just a suggestion. That's like Casey Anthony doing a vlog, okay? Don't.
The feud between creator and me and all of that drama.
Who's feuding with Gypsy? Are you okay? Are you scared? Who's this creator she's beefing with?
Just all faded. It didn't matter anymore.
Didn't it?
All that matters is making sure that I'm healthy, the baby's healthy, my relationship with Ken is healthy, and we are moving.
Can a relationship with a convicted murderer be healthy? Am I the problem here? Am I the one seeing? It's me. I'm judgy.
Forward in a positive way. It's an amazing feeling when your whole world shifts.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Suddenly it's not about you.
Right.
It's not about anything other than the tiny little life that's inside you.
Well, it should be about protecting that tiny little life. If you are honest in your assessment here and then you're like, oh, everything's changed and all the drama's gone to the side and everything else, and here's what you have to do, Gypsy Rose, is you need to not expose this child to the world. Nobody should know the name, where it goes to school, what it looks like. Nothing. Okay, because you seem to be fame hungry, which is, I mean, what other choice did you really have? Again, is she going to work a real job? I don't know. But what other choice does she have except to literally capitalize off murder? I'm not joking. Capitalizing off the word. That's who I cover. I cover people who capitalize off abuse of children. Now, she was abused, but she also, obviously went to jail for murder. These are the people that should not have. I'm sorry. Courts should adjust to be like, look, you're not allowed online, okay, as a personality. Sorry. That's just, you lost the right. You can't vote, right? She can't vote, thank God.
That you are now in charge of protecting, and that little tiny life is a baby, a little tiny human that...
Is she writing an 8th grade book report or something like that? We got it. It's a baby. Come on.
That's yours, and that you have to make sure that you protect, you love, you take care of, and all of the things that I wished I could have had.
Yes. This is a good point.
Little.
And I understand this point she's making. All the things I wish I had when I was little. And she's right. She absolutely is right. And if you, my stories, I've just been recasting my story in the sun. And this one thing I have always had stuck in my head is I want to become the person that I would have needed as a child. And I was, abused and everything else. And you know my story, it's out there. Okay? And the irony here, though, is that she sees that, she hears that. She's like, I wish I could be the person that I needed. And I understand that. But you cannot, Gypsy Rose, be that person if you're going to exploit this child on the internet, considering your record. Literally your record. Okay? You cannot protect this child if you are one of the most hated creators on the planet. You can get off the internet and go live a normal life and get away from the spotlight. That'll help. This child should not be known by anybody. You seem to really want to protect your child. It sounds like you do, to me. I'd love to give you the benefit of the doubt. But it also sounds like you are already exploiting this whole thing. And so you cannot be what this child needs unless you do those things. And so you're being a hypocrite here by saying, I need to be that which I didn't have, when you're already not doing that.
I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, you're not. I don't even know you, and that's fake.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, again, if you have no self-awareness of, like, you're like, I wish I could be that for my... You're already not!
All the things that I wanted in a mother, I want to give to this baby.
But here's the thing. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is faking illnesses and things so that you get attention from the whole thing. It only benefits the mother in this situation, or the father. Women are more likely to be the primary caregivers to the children, which means they're more likely to have Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And so she sits here saying, I want to be that, I want to protect, I want to do this thing. And Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is what her mother had, was so that her mother could get attention and get paid for all that stuff. And she's literally doing the same thing! What? Sorry for yelling. I hope she sees this. Like, the people commenting about this stuff.
Knowing that I am a mother now.
Yep.
And I'm happy.
There you go.
And I just want to be a good mother for my child.
Well, then here's how you do it, Gypsy Rose. If you're serious about what you just said there, which I guess we'll find out. If you're serious about this thing that you're saying, then stop talking about your child. Don't put it on the internet. Don't give names out. Don't talk about it. Don't!
I want to be everything my mother wasn't.
Well, you've already failed at that, so. By doing this video, you've already failed that.
Ken and I had a wonderful talk about...
And she's exploiting it on TikTok and everything else. Like, damn. It's getting crazy.
About the future for him and I. And we both agree that we both grew up in broken homes.
Well, sounds like a match made in heaven.
I grew up without a father, pretty much. And he grew up in a family where, his parents got divorced.
Well, your child's going to grow up in a family that your mother's a murderer, so that's...
And I think we both agree that neither one of us wants our child to be in that kind of a situation.
Is she married to Ken? Gypsy Rose Blanchard is reconnecting with her ex-fiancé Ken Urker, ex-fiancé, after Blanchard announced her split from her husband Ryan Scott in March, just recent. She and Urker sparked reconciliation rumors, so this is her ex-fiance. Again, who are these dudes that are marrying murderers? It doesn't even, like, okay. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel is basically what's happening.
With that being said, it doesn't matter what we go
And the barrel is like a New York dumpster. New York story time. I just went to New York. And New York, I really loved it. It was amazing. It was her grade 6 grad, and she got to go choose a Broadway play, and we did the bus tours. She loved it. We saw, what's it called? Oh my gosh. What? I can't remember the name of this play. Little Shop of Horrors. It was amazing with Sarah Hyland and the guy, the main actor. Incredible show, by the way. Anyway, all that to say, it smells like pee, weed, and hot garbage all over New York. And sometimes, like, we're on the tour bus, and sometimes a wind would waft, and it would catch a corner of a wall that had hot piss on it, and it was disgusting. That's the bottom of the barrel.
through, him and I. Whatever we face, we'll face it together.
Sure you will.
Because we
They only have plastic knives in the house.
have a baby now. We have
She's trying to save her relationship by having a baby. That's not going to work. Just so you're aware.
something that's bigger than either one of us. So whatever comes our way, whatever arguments we have, whatever.
Would you argue with this woman? I wouldn't. I mean, whatever you need. First of all, I wouldn't be in a relationship with a murderer, but if I was, because I had no other options for whatever reason, would you argue with a murderer? No thanks. You think she's plotting your death every 2 seconds. No thanks.
Drama gets thrown at us on social media.
Stop calling murder drama. It's not drama. You murdered somebody. You went to jail for murder. Second degree. So stop calling. That's not just like, oh my gosh, I said the N-word 20 years ago. That's not what happened. You literally went to jail for second degree murder.
We're gonna stick together. We're not breaking.
It's probably going to age like milk.
Because
Milk in a New York dumpster on the hottest day in New York.
we are a family now.
Okay.
And,
That's okay.
and as unconventional as this relationship and this child
Fake.
may have came from,
Well, I'm sure it came from conventional means.
I couldn't be happier.
I'm sure.
And
What are you filming this on?
this is a blessing. I found my freedom in a way that I never expected.
What are you saying? You're just saying words.
And I'm okay with that.
What? Are you? What?
Everything that has ever happened to me in my life.
Okay. What? Let me just say this. And I understand that she probably suffered more than a lot of people. I'd say if we're talking about suffering Olympics, she's up there. A lot of us have suffered though abuses. Lots. I know I wasn't abused to that degree. I was abused differently, but probably a lot. But like, okay, I didn't murder somebody though. I feel like she uses that. Like she uses her like I was abused card for everything. That's I don't know, and I don't hardly know anything about her. But I feel like that she uses that a lot, probably. Like kind of like Wheelchair Repugnant uses the whole, oh, you're ableist for calling me out for being, drunk and stuff and wheeling around.
Suddenly doesn't matter.
I wonder if she's friends with Wheelchair Rapunzel.
Because it all led me to be who I am today. And it all led me to this moment right here, right now.
Pregnant on YouTube. Murder led me to pregnant on YouTube. There's a t-shirt.
And that's a blessing.
She has a lot of live, love, laugh things around her house, eh?
To say that I made it.
You made it. You call this made it? Made it where?
That's a success story.
That's not, no. Wow, and it just ends just like that. This is the craziest thing, and the voice, and oh my gosh, what have I stumbled upon here? She has 59,000 snarkers in her Reddit. 59,000. Holy shnikes! I'm joining. Yeah, I'll believe it when I actually see a baby. It's easy to go online, get a picture of a test, and fake ad ultrasound. Some people think she's faking it. I was raised by a severely abusive family, and now I'm a mom and my kids are thriving in a way I never came close to. Sometimes growing up with horrible people teaches you how not to. That's true. That's true. I mean, hopefully she teaches her kid not to be a murderer. That's probably true. People are so mad at our YT comments. See, oh, is this a fan page? Ryan will be on the birth certificate regardless. The divorce has to be finalized over 300 days to bypass that. But if there is Ryan's not the dad. They only just separated. To get him off, he will have to sign papers saying he's not the dad, and Ken and the baby will have to do DNA. Well, why wouldn't you sign it? Do you really want responsibility? Went through this myself earlier this year and finally, what? Can't wait to see how this turns out. I think this is a fan page, which then you got to sort by controversial if you really want the real the real goods. Deleted. Yeah. I think she deserves a chance to prove herself. Okay, no, it's not a fan page. Before people start throwing a shitload of shade her way, I'm not even a fan of what she did. I hope you're not a fan of what she did. Murder. Yeah, she was manipulated and probably got off easy, but she served her time given by a judge and jury. I can't tell if this is a snark page or not. I don't think this is a snark page. I can't tell. Anyway, let's look at the comments, I guess. Again, 16,000 downvotes. This is all hate watches. Sort by new. Dee Dee taught Gypsy that there's a sucker born every minute and taught her how to reel them in, and Gypsy is still doing it. To everyone in the comments, yes, you can get accidentally pregnant. You can have birth control and a condom still. That's okay. Sounds like they just didn't pull out, so it sounds like to me. I think God works in mysterious ways. I think this baby will somehow be the way she is able to fully heal. No. It's not. It's going to likely be more like generational trauma. Please read Gypsy. I also came to a freeing conclusion and past led me to... Okay, I don't know. Y'all, this girl is crazy, y'all. She's literally insane. Just watch everything she does. Everything she does is off. Like, how you crying but no tears and start smiling after. Let her trick y'all if you want to. Dee Dee taught Gypsy that a sucker is born every minute. This whole thing is going to be scary. I'm worried about the baby. Make it make sense. You planned this. Poor Ken is right. Nothing makes sense. Her speech sounds so forced and contrived. Justice for Nicholas. Justice for Nick. Hopefully we'll let this baby have privacy. So it's just crazy. Wow. All right. Well, there's going to be some snarking on Gypsy Rose. The whole story is actually craziness. And the fact that she's really snarkable is just an added bonus. Snarking on a murderer? Sounds like fun to me. What about you? What do you guys think of this story below? Am I missing something? Like, what am I missing? This is crazy, right? If she becomes imagine murder turned family vlogger. It actually makes sense if you think about it. Just saying. Anyway, everybody, take a deep breath. You need it today. If I would have done that in New York, I would have passed out because of the stink. The New York stink. It stinks. But it's fun. It's fun still. It's fun. You ever been to the Bull on Wall Street? The brass balls in that thing have been touched 1 million times. If you go to New York, bring sanitizer. All right, do it. Also, Cane's chicken, I had it 3 times. Raising Cane's, 3 times. That's how good it was. That's how good the sauce and the chicken strips are good. Don't get me wrong, they're not the best in the world. It's the sauce. Oh my gosh. I want some now. And I don't know when the next time I can get it. Craziness. Anyway, thanks for telling me about it, guys. You guys are amazing, incredible, and valuable. Don't forget it. You are some kind of something. Don't murder. Okay? Just don't. It's just don't. All right, cool. I don't know if you need to hear that or not. I'll see you when I see you.